Hello Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Aquarius, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Aquarius, let's get started. So we do have the Nine of Swords, so a death card. How does Aquarius currently view this relationship? So we do have the Nine of Swords, we do have the Death card, and then we also have the Seven of Swords. It looks like you're highly considering self-sabotaging something. And what I mean by self-sabotaging something, I mean running in the opposite direction of it. And it's due to fear. Whatever this thing is that you want to run in the opposite direction from, it's something that you know is going to drastically change your life if you embrace it. And I think that you think you're not entirely ready for all of that. I want to see what this thing is that you really, really want to self-sabotage. Well, let me just say run in the opposite direction of. Let me say it like that. Tell you more about the Seven of Swords. Doom, 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 doom. All right, so we have the Justice card. We got the Five of Wands. And then we also have the Empress. This person, it's a person that you want to run in the opposite direction. It's a person that you want to run in the opposite direction of. Whoever this person is, they do come off to me as somebody who has been fighting for a serious relationship to come out of this entire situation. So y'all are not in a committed relationship is kind of what I'm gathering here. But they've been fighting for, something serious here to transpire between the two of you. They've been fighting to have a serious relationship with you, Aquarius. And you're just like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all of that. Okay. Well, obviously, now that we know what it is that you want to run in which I don't even know why I did that. Now we know, right, what it is that you want to run in the opposite direction of, which is a serious committed relationship. Let's look at them and see how they're currently viewing this relationship with you. Alrighty then, Aquarius. Let's see what we got. This person wants you to take them and this dynamic that the two of you share one another seriously. They just don't think you ever will. With the Three of Swords. They just don't think that you ever will. It's a true pair situation, though, between you and this person. We have the Empress to the fucking Emperor, dude. Are you kidding me? You guys are super compatible. Super fucking compatible to one another. What's wrong? Why do you not want to build and establish a life with this person? They're basically perfect for you. I mean, we know that fear is what's stopping you, but why let fear, get in the way, Let's see, how does Aquarius feel? Okay, we have the Hermit, we have the Six of Cups, we also have the Lovers, and then we also have the Ten of Cups. Dude, I just feel like you're allowing fear to essentially get the best of you, to be totally honest. And it also has a lot to do with something else, which is something that I do want to kind of discuss, especially for those of you who are resonating with this person to the right of me. I don't necessarily feel like there's anything wrong with them per se that's causing you to not want to go there with them. I just want to throw that out there and make that clear. I think that somebody needed to essentially hear that, because I think somebody thinks, well, there must be something wrong with me, and that's why Aquarius doesn't want to be with me. That's why they don't want to fully commit to me. There must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not what they're looking for. Maybe that's what it is. It's definitely not that. It has nothing to do with this person. It has everything to do with you. So let's talk about it. Not only are you allowing fear to essentially get the best of you, Aquarius, but when it comes down to you, being in a relationship brings out certain things out of you that you don't necessarily like, that you're not necessarily a fan of. So being in a relationship for you might make you feel confined. It might make you feel restricted. It might bring out your trust issues. It might bring out your anxiety for prime example, or your fear of intimacy and or like abandonment issues. Like being in a relationship for you being in a relationship for you brings out certain things out of you that you just don't freaking like or want to essentially like deal with, is basically what I'm getting. And I feel like that's why you've been like avoiding taking things a step further with this person, because I feel like you know that if you do, it's going to bring out certain things out of you that you don't want to freaking deal with, and you just don't want to freaking deal with, which honestly, dude, I don't blame you, because if being in a relationship heightens your anxiety, your trust issues, your abandonment issues, your fear of, intimacy, and makes you feel confined and restricted, like all of these things that I just mentioned are, for one, a lot to essentially deal with, especially if you tend to like, find yourself dealing with everything that I just mentioned. That's like a lot for one person to essentially deal with and take on. So I understand why you're just like, I really don't want to freaking do that. Like, I don't want to do that to myself. Like, I don't want to jump into a relationship and then like go through this and this and this and this. I just don't want to do that. I feel like you find a lot of comfort in what you currently share with this person. I am getting that. So it appears, I guess let's just call it like a friends with benefits type of situation, because this is not a committed relationship by any means. So let's just call it like a friends with benefits type of situation you got going on here. You find a lot of comfort in having friends with benefits type of, relationships, because it causes you to feel like you're not, which is fascinating. And I'm about to say something to you that might blow your mind, but let me just get this out the way. Being in a friends with benefits type of dynamic for you, it does make you feel safe, it does make you feel secure, and it does make you feel comfortable, and it does kind of make you feel like being in these type of dynamics cause you to avoid, right, getting heartbroken, getting betrayed, getting deceived, because technically speaking, y'all are not together. What's interesting, Aquarius, is that, let's just say hypothetically speaking, right? This person decides tomorrow, you know what, Aquarius, I'm done. I'm not doing this with you no more. Like, you're never going to take me seriously. Like, I'm so done with you. The very thing that you fear when it comes down to being in a relationship with someone, getting heartbroken, getting abandoned, things of that nature, is exactly what I see you going through if this person decides to up and leave you. In other words, if they decide to up and leave you tomorrow, you're going to be heartbroken and you're going to be devastated. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because you already formed a very strong and intense emotional attachment to this person. We all know that, like, anything that we become attached to, if in the event we ever lose it, we're going to suffer. We're going to suffer because suffering comes from attachment, right? You are emotionally attached to this person. I just don't think that you think you are, if that makes sense. I don't think that you think you're emotionally attached to this person, but if in the event this person does ever get up and leaves you because, you're just never going to take them seriously. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, they wake up tomorrow and they're just like, you know what? I'm done with Aquarius. They're never going to take me seriously. The moment this person ups and leaves you, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And I think that in itself will catch you by surprise, because I think that you think you're not emotionally attached to this person, but you are. I just think that you think you're not. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? You know what I mean? Okay, let's keep it going. So it's fascinating because in a way you think, well, okay, well, if I'm just this person's friends with benefits, well, that's going to like help me avoid getting heartbroken, abandoned. All right. So yeah, I like this. I like this thing we got going on here. Why fix it if it isn't broken type of mentality, right? Because in your head you think, well, I'm going to avoid getting heartbroken and as well as abandoned, because technically speaking, we're not together. So, then there's, I'm not going to get heartbroken because, we're not obviously together. You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't know. It's interesting to me. It's very fascinating to me, Aquarius, because I'm telling you, if this person does get up and leave, hopefully they don't, but if they do ever get up and leave, you're going to feel it because you're emotionally attached to this person. But it's weird because the very thing that you fear and you think you're avoiding, you're not actually avoiding, because the only way to avoid what you fear the most is not allowing yourself to become emotionally attached to this person. But you think that the way to avoid heartbreak is to not be in a committed relationship with them or anybody, but that's not where suffering comes from. Suffering comes from attachment. And you're attached. I just don't think that you think you are. But you're attached. So it's like I'm trying to understand, but it's hard because suffering comes from attachment. But you think, no, suffering... I mean, I'm pretty sure we agree on that suffering does come from attachment. I think that that's something we both agree on. I am getting that strongly. However, I think you think that by avoiding entering a committed relationship with this person, it saves you from heartache. And I guess that's fine, but if they were to up and leave you and stop dealing with you and having as friends with benefits with you, you're going to end up heartbroken either which way. So it's like you're not really saving yourself, from like any sort of heartache, because you allowed yourself to become emotionally attached to this person. So you're not really avoiding heartbreak. You're not really outrunning pain by not committing yourself to this person, but I think that you think you are. You know what I mean, dude? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, dude? Okay. I guess, right? Yeah, okay. So, man, if this was Burger King Have It Their Way, man, the two of you would have been together. We have the Eight of Pentacles, we got the Two of Swords, and then we have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like this person just so freaking badly wants the two of you to build a freaking life with one another, but the problem is that y'all are not on the same page. They're ready to get this ball rolling, and you're just like, yeah, but see, the thing is I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? Okay. What actions will Aquarius take towards this person or moving forward? So we have, you kind of have the mentality of, but why fix it if it isn't broken? Like, I love what we got going on. This is great. This is awesome. Don't you think? Don't you seem to think so too? I don't think so, Aquarius. No. They want more out of you. And you're just like, no, come on. Like, come on. Why fix this if it isn't broken? Why do we have to jump into a committed relationship? It's just, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense, That's your, MO. The very thing you think you're avoiding, you're not avoiding. I truly do think that you think you're not in love with this person. I think that you think that you're not emotionally attached to this person. I think that you truly believe that. But this is kind of telling me otherwise. Because remember, when it comes down to tarot basically reveals everything, right? We see everything. So it's like, even though you think you're not in love with this person or you're not emotionally attached to this person, this is telling me that that is not the case. So it's like one of those things where it's like, you can tell yourself that you're not in love with them. You could tell yourself that you're not emotionally invested, in this individual, but the truth of the matter is that you are. And that's why I was saying, Aquarius, that if in the event this person ever does up and leaves you, right, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Like, it's going to feel like you're going through a breakup. And I think that that's going to leave you super shocked and surprised. And I think that that's when you're going to realize, oh shit, I actually fucking love this person. I actually cared about them. I actually had feelings for them. That's how I see you discovering that you have emotions for this person. It's if in the event it gets to that point where they're just like, you know what? I am so done with Aquarius. It ain't even funny. And the moment this person leaves, that's when I see you discovering, oh snap, oh my God, I really did have feelings for this person. I think that initially at first was going to happen. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be funny here, but I think that initially, like, if in the event this person does, let's just say that they do decide to get up and leave because you just refuse to take them seriously, and why fix this if it isn't broken, right? I think that at first, you know, you're gonna find yourself like, whatever, you know what I mean? But it's gonna eventually catch up to you. It's gonna hit you, you know, and you know, you might mistake this, you know, pain that you're feeling in your chest, for anxiety, for prime example. It's basically what I'm getting, you know. But in all actuality, it's not anxiety. You just lost the person that you were in love with, and now your heart is aching and now it's hurting. But you might mistake that as like, oh, I'm probably just experiencing some anxiety. Maybe that's what's going on. You know, maybe I slept on the wrong side of the bed, maybe, or maybe I ate something, or maybe it's gas just, you know, stuck in your chest, and it's none of those things. It's the love of your life just walked right out of it. You know what I mean? And that's how I see you finding out, like, oh snap, like, I really did love this woman. I just didn't even know it. Or I really did love this man. I just didn't even know it. That's so crazy. Like, because the very thing that you're essentially avoiding, you're not avoiding. You're not avoiding. You're not avoiding. The only way to avoid what you fear is to not allow yourself to become emotionally attached. But that's the thing, is that I feel like I'm trying to convince you that you're emotionally invested into this person. And I don't think that you're ever going to like see for yourself that what I'm saying is true until this comes to an end. And then that's when it hits you and you're just like, damn, like, I'm fucking sad. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, because I keep getting with you, it's like, when the heartbreak starts to kind of creep in, you're going to like associate this heartbreak with something like anxiety, gas stuck in your chest, or I slept on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe I ate something. Like, I see you associating that pain with something along those lines, but it's none of those things. It's just you're going through like a heartbreak, because in all actuality, you did actually love this person. You just kept telling yourself you didn't. You were in love with this person. You just kept telling yourself you weren't, but you were. You know? What actions? Well, in regards to how this person plans on moving forward, keep in mind this might happen, you know, a few days from now, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, hell, possibly even a year or two from now. Okay, energy, you know, it you know, is fluid, so just kind of keep that in mind. But there's gonna come a point in time where this person is just gonna accept the fact that you're just never gonna be ready. You're just never gonna be ready for marriage. You're just never gonna be ready for a family. You're just never gonna be ready for a relationship. And these are things that this person truly craves for. These are things that this person truly does yearn for. And as much as they don't want to walk away from you, as much as they want to have a serious relationship with you, they can't force you to give them what they want. They can't. And I do see them eventually accepting the fact that they can't force you to give them. They cannot force you to give them what they want, and they can't change your mind. They can't change your mind. And that's what they've been doing. They've been trying to change your mind. They've been trying to get you to take them in this dynamic between the two of you seriously, and you're just like, nah, like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do that. Why do we have to jump into a relationship? Like, this doesn't make no sense to me. Like, why do we got to do that? Why fix this if it isn't broken? You know what I mean? Like, don't you love what we got going on here? And then the answer to that is no, they don't. They want more out of you in this dynamic that they share with you. They want to experience life with you to the point where it's not like this, where it's just like a friends with benefits type of situation, because this friends with benefits type of situation, it comes with a lot of limitations. And they don't like that. You can't grow and evolve in a relationship that's full of limitations. You just can't. And that's the thing, dude, is that like they want to experience things with you, like marriage, starting a family, y'all getting a place together, you know, things like that. But it's like they can't do that because they're in a situation that's full of limitations. And you're the one that is setting the limitations. You know what I mean? All right, what's gonna end up happening next? Okay, wait, you stay there. Okay, so we do have the Fool to the Four of Pentacles, to the Chariot, to the Eight of Wands. We also have the Knight of Swords, to the Five of Swords. And then we also have the Queen of Wands, to the Page of Pentacles, to the Star, to the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so in regards to, what's going to end up happening next here, like I said, dude, I think that, I think that once this person does decide to pull the plug on this dynamic, because you basically like refuse to take them in this dynamic between the two of you guys, seriously, you're going to let them walk. You will legit let them walk. Oh, you want to walk out of my life? Oh, okay. Well, it was nice knowing you. It was really nice. And let me tell you something. You're falling into an energy that's very interesting to me that I wasn't anticipating or expecting from you. It's like you're looking at them like, you see, I knew you were going to abandon me. I knew you were going to abandon me. You see, this is why I didn't commit, because you were going to abandon me. And I'm like, yo, like, let's be honest, Aquarius, that's not entirely fair, because the only reason why they're getting up and walking away is because they desire marriage. They desire to start a family with someone. They desire to be in a relationship with someone. These are things that they desire, that you're telling them, nah, I'm not trying to give you that. But these are things that they desire to have. And I wasn't expecting this from you, but I do see you not only letting them walk out of your life, like, all right, you want to go, bye, see you later. Not really, and it's like the moment they leave, you fall into this energy of, you see, this is why I never fully commit to them. This is why I never took them seriously. This is why I never allowed myself to go there, because I knew they were going to abandon me and up and leave me. But if the roles were reversed, Aquarius, you know that if the roles were reversed, let's keep it a buck here, like, and you really wanted to build and establish a life with someone and get married to that someone and start a family with that someone, and that someone kept telling you, no, we're not going to do that. No, for what? Why fix it if it isn't broken? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't like that, dude. You wouldn't like that. And then, you would have found yourself being forced to just up and go, because you want to get married. You want to start a family. You want all these things, and you technically speaking wouldn't be the bad guy if you ever did get up and walk away from somebody who wasn't ready for what you were ready for. I don't make you out to be the bad guy, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's what you're doing, dude. That's what you're doing. It's like they are doing something they don't want to do. They don't want to walk away from you. They don't want to do this. They feel like they have to, though. They feel like they have to. Because in their head, they think, well, shit, if I want to get married and Aquarius is telling me, nah, like, they don't want to do that. If I keep dealing with Aquarius, I'm never going to get married. Well, I want to be a mother one day. I want to be a father one day. But Aquarius keeps telling me, no, like, they don't want to do that. Then I guess I'm never going to be a mother one day. I guess I'm never going to be a father one day. Like, and these are things that they want. Like, they want to have a family. They want the whole enchilada with you, homie. And you're just like, nah. And it's all in the name of, I just don't want to get heartbroken. I just don't. I don't. I'm good. I don't want to do that. And I think that you think that by avoiding a commitment with them, you're avoiding getting heartbroken. But like I said, it's like when this person does decide to officially walk away from this, that's when I see you realizing, like, shit, like, I really fucking was in love with this damn woman. I didn't even know it. Or I really was in love with this man, and I just didn't fucking know it. Like, well, I didn't even know it. I didn't even realize it. Because I think that you think you're not in love with them, but you are. I think that you think that you're not attached, but you are. You are. You definitely are. You definitely are, dude. There's still time to turn the situation around, man. All they want to do is get married, start a family. They want the whole enchilada, honey, with you. And you just don't want to give it to them. You just don't want to give it to them. And I think you should. But I get it. You just don't want to. But I think you should. But yeah, that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading.